What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Thursday, May 6th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comments section who is your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. We are rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with Frank Jackson, Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry, Darius Bazley, and Trae Young on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites, my top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. First up, at number 5, we're going to point guard, small forward eligible Luca Doncic. 10,900 projected for 57. The goal 60.5. He's in the optimal lineup 22% of the time. Now, I love the eligibility here. Guard forward is huge. You guys know how much I love that. And you know how much I love Luca. 36 minutes, 1.59 fantasy points per minute with 36% usage. That's 30 real points, 9 assists, 9 boards, maybe a steal, a half block. Look, you're hoping for the scoring, the rebounds, and assists. Let's be clear here. But he's taken on a Brooklyn team. This ends up being a pace-neutral spot. Brooklyn's defense is really, really bad. This is an outstanding spot for Luka. He is going to be the belle of the ball. No Kristaps Porzingis. No Maxi Kleber. Not like he's a big offensive threat, but no Porzingis. It's not that I think Luka takes a big bump because of that, but he just gets to do even more if he wants to. And I think in a matchup against Brooklyn, this is where Luca Doncic comes to play. Next up at number 4, we're staying on the same team, and we're going to center eligible Dwight Powell. 3,500 projected for 23. The goal's 31. Optimal lineup 22% of the time. There are a couple high-end pay-up options today. So you're going to need to find some ways to pay down. I think Dwight Powell is one of those ways. I've got him in for 26 minutes at center since we don't have Maxey and we don't have Porzingis. I think Powell and Willie Cauley-Stein split the center run. Basically a 0.9 fantasy point per minute guy. 14% usage. Look, 10 points, 6 boards, an assist, a steal, maybe a block. Same matchup against Brooklyn. He's not going to be worried about anybody. He's certainly not going to be worried about DeAndre Jordan. And after that, we don't really have centers to worry about on the Brooklyn Nets. So I do like this spot for Powell. I assume that he gets the big run. Keep your eyes peeled to the starting lineup. We saw Willie Cauley-Stein start the last game, but Dwight Powell started the second half. He had a very nice plus minus. They went on a run with him, so maybe they reward him with a start here, but you do want to keep that in mind. If Willie Cauley-Stein gets the start, I think that you bring Powell's minutes down maybe 2 or 3. You give a little bit of a boost to Willie Cauley-Stein, and then I think Willie Cauley-Stein actually shows up in more optimal lineups. You got to keep your eye on the center spot for Dallas, but one of those guys looks pretty good today. Next up at number 3, we're going to the small forward position, and we are rostering Sadiq Bay. He's 6,300, projected for just shy of 35. The goal's 42. He's in the optimal lineup 24% of the time. Bay plays big minutes, and the Pistons continue to just rule out half their team. So I've got Bay in for 36 minutes, 0.96 fantasy points per minute with these guys out, 22% usage, 19 6 and 2 rather, and a steal. Pace up spot against Memphis. But what we're trying to do here, small forward is always very, very difficult to roster. In this spot, you get Sadiq Bay at a mid-tier price tag, playing probably 36 minutes. That is at least the intention. I see no reason to go a different direction. Memphis isn't the type of team you need to be worried about. This isn't the automatic blowout that you normally expect when the Pistons step on the floor. And Bay is the guy that should play the most minutes of anyone on the Pistons. Grabbing another Piston, though, at number 2, we're going to the power forward spot. We're getting Sekou Doumbouya, 3,500, projected for 24. The goal's 31. He's in the optimal lineup 27% of the time. Like I said, we need to find value to pay for Luca Doncic, to pay for Steph Curry, and to pay for the number 1 contender. So, Sekou's been playing a ton of minutes at the 4. I've got him in for 32. Now, let's not be confused here. He's a terrible fantasy player. 0.75 is where I've got him for this game. 20% usage, 12 points, 5.5 boards, 2 assists, very little else. You're betting on minutes. Anytime that you can get someone north of 30 minutes, likely in a starting lineup at a sub 4K price tag, and in this case, 3,500, this is just a value spot that I believe needs to be used in order to unlock some of the higher end plays. 17% of the time, Sekou Doumbouya gets to 31 fantasy points. That's really the number we're looking for. He can be okay, slightly lower than that in that 28, 29 range. But if you get Sekou Doumbouya to that goal number, he will be an essential piece of your lineup. Now, before we get to that number one contender, one last reminder, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and then hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Then, twitter.com/Josh Engleman. That's where you should go. And then click the follow button, because that's the only place that you're going to get any of my updates to my sim results as we get closer to lock. Finally, underneath this video, right underneath it, that's where you got to go. I want to know in the comments section, favorite contender, least favorite contender. Who do you think should be on this list that isn't on it? Let me know what I'm doing wrong. And finally, the number one contender for today, that would be point guard Russell Westbrook. He's still 11K because they refuse to increase his price. Projected for 59, the goal is 61. He's in the optimal lineup 27% of the time. You know what you're getting here. 39, 40 minutes out of Russ, 1.5 fantasy points per minute, 32% usage, a triple-double, 25, 12.5, 10.5, maybe 2 stocks. It's a pace neutral spot against Toronto, and honestly, a kind of difficult matchup against the Raptors just because the Raptors are smart. I believe that they will try to coax Russell Westbrook into some maybe longer mid-range jumpers that he tends to love, but there's no way around it. His floor is so high. It's so massively high. And that's what happens when you have someone projected for a raw triple-double. 25, 12.5, and 10.5. That's nuts. That's truly, truly crazy. Just play him, guys. Just play him. He's going to be heavily owned. Don't worry about it. He's easy to get to on DraftKings, and he's my unquestioned top pay-up option and the number one contender for today's slate. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Thursday, May 6th. Now, process show is in the books. Go watch that. FanDuel version of this video is out here somewhere. You should click on that and watch that as well, even if you don't play on FanDuel. And then strategy show, 10 a.m. with Adam Kaufman, breaking it all down once again. We've got one more day left in this work week, which means one more contenders video to go. So good luck tonight, everybody. I will catch you guys again tomorrow morning for another edition of the Contenders.